The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink Community TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Welcome to Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV. I'm your host, Cecil Clark, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Christina Lamy, the president of the Cape Breton Blizzard Hockey Association. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Cecil. So
we're standing here in what is a phenomenal facility. We're going to get into the details. It's just the energy from an empty facility. I can't imagine when the life is brought with girls and women hockey being the heartbeat of this facility. So I know since 1986, almost 40 years ago, when this was the complex for the Canada Games, it was brought excitement and enthusiasm to the community like we'd never seen before. Now we're going to see a next generation, a new generation. Can you explain a little bit of the evolution of how we got here today to this phenomenal facility?
Well, as you said, it's a story that began really almost 40 years ago with the creation of this building for the Canada Games in 1987. And I'm very grateful and thankful that back in the day they thought to build it very well, because it does have a much longer life to it with this renovation. So I guess the story of how we came to be in this building started about a little over 5 years ago. At the time of COVID pandemic, it was shut down. The building was pretty much at the end of its life. Everything in it was done. The Zamboni looked like it was stripped for parts. The building was really at the end of that 30-some year life cycle that it had been at. And it was empty. And at the time, we were beginning a girls' hockey association. We were starting, we had about 150 players, 10 teams. We were struggling for ice time even then, meaning that all of the ice time that we needed was owned by the minor hockey associations, and we would get whatever was left over. Very difficult to grow in a situation where you're only dealing with very sporadic ice times. So I guess the conversation kind of started. First, we started the association, but then we immediately knew we had an ice issue. And we looked at this facility and knew that it was a huge hurdle to reopen it. It's a very big building. The renovation of it would be in the multi-millions of dollars. We had a hard time seeing a pathway on that. But we had a great beginning conversations with, at the time, new CBU President David Dingwall. As many people know, CBU, the university, was looking for another purpose for this building prior to Mr. Dingwall taking over. They were actually looking to not have it as a hockey rink. I think he had different ideas, and we had different ideas, and we brought that together and said, what about the vision of turning this building into a home ice arena for girls hockey? And all the while we're having this conversation, we are growing and growing and growing, to the point that when we step onto the ice here this fall, we'll be close to about a 400-player, 25-team association.
That's phenomenal. When you think of the vision that you folks brought together and the enthusiasm and the new leadership that President Dingwall brought to the table, I think of Craft Hockeyville, Canada, and what that competition meant and the actual coming together as a community to support women's and girls hockey. Can you explain a little bit about how that was kind of like a stepping stone to opening up this venue to the wider community to understand its significance to girls and women's hockey?
So our decision came as a conversation about entering Craft Hockeyville. We were of the mindset that it's kind of now or never. This is the time for us. This is the building we need to be in. The university was open to doing this. They said, if this can happen, we are all in. So we started a campaign for Craft Hockeyville. And I think the campaign, from what I understand of it, even nationally, it was one of the most robust campaigns across the country that they've seen. It really galvanized people's attention on girls hockey, the inequitable ice access issue. It's the only Craft Hockeyville campaign that ever occurred where the arena in question was non-existent. It's usually the concept is usually an arena that needs some repairs. This was like, no, we need to reopen an arena that's well beyond a repair, right? So, and as it goes, I find success begets success. So when we won Hockeyville, it was literally immediate engagement from the provincial government in terms of what's needed to reopen that rink. And And that's a multi-million dollar conversation, not a couple of $100,000.
And it not only ignited the process forward, it opened people's, like you say, it opened people's eyes to what was lacking for girls and women's hockey within our communities, and to have a home base. This being part of a $20 million towards a $40 million complex here, the Keogh Forum, the Athletic Center, the Nancy Dingwall Center. This is truly a transformation that puts next generation life, but not only that, purpose, multi-purpose into this facility, but also from a point of view, and you just mentioned, if you go back, you talk about 400 young girls coming in and being able to this fall play hockey. Where did it start? Where did Blizzard Hockey start in terms of numbers?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to the existence of our organization, ultimately to Hockey Nova Scotia. They made a deliberate decision back in around 2015 that they were going to encourage and allow the formation of girls' hockey associations. They hadn't existed in Nova Scotia prior to that. Every girl who wanted to play hockey would join a predominantly male minor hockey association. Sometimes there'd be enough for a girls' team, sometimes there wouldn't. They found that that process didn't really work to grow the game as they knew it could be, because they could see in Ontario they had girls' hockey associations and the growth of the game was exponential. So they had the guts to do it the same way and say, we're going to do it the way we're seeing it done over here. And there's a lot of resistance to that. There was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of battles about it. It was absolutely the right thing to do. I see it across the province. So we went forward then. We created a girls' hockey association here. All the girls who wanted to play on girls' hockey teams came and joined, and we had some immediate success. Like we hit the ground running pretty well with about 10 teams and 150 players, but literally exponential growth since then. So 10 teams became 12 teams, became 17 teams, became 22, 25. You know, so we're now at about 25, 26 teams. Then plus the U18 major team, plus the Capers women's team. All of these have come back into formation in the last 5 years. If I go back to when I came back to Cape Breton in 2013-14, there were only 3 girls hockey teams here.
So not only that growth, but it's really what that trajectory, where you've come from, but more importantly, where you go.
Yes.
And you're not just building a sport, you're building people in the process. You're building confidence, you're building, that team building, that sense of being able to be as a character, that it's more than just what happens on the ice, it's the conduct on the ice, it's the connectivity, it's the friendships, it's the sense that there are next steps in the sport itself. And most importantly, that I see in the short term is this is the first in Canada. Like that must be a sense of pride for you and the entire team that have been part of making this happen.
Oh, very much so. And it's, like I said, it's more about, my motivation on this has very much been, it's about girls' leadership and girls' networking and having space and taking up space publicly for girls and women. Not necessarily being a part of joining something else, but to build something from the beginning to the top. Hockey Canada is very interested in what we've been doing here. I'm getting calls from across the country about people wanting to have a dedicated arena for the girls' hockey associations in their area, which in their size and scope absolutely warrant it. So it's a matter of that conversation between those associations, government, because ultimately government is a lot of who builds the rinks across the country. They're government facilities, and seeing that need and filling it, and having the opportunity having a building like this creates these other opportunities. One of the little projects we're going to start up this year is about learning how to do play-by-play and broadcast and video a game. Like there's so much about sport that is more than just what happens on the ice. It's the work involved, the show of it. So I'm really excited about the players and everything having the opportunity to do those kind of things too. We have summer students every year. That's their job. Their job is to do hockey all summer. That was unheard of years ago. Not even long ago. That was unheard of 3 years ago. We're really doing new things, and I'm excited about that.
So you mentioned Hockey Canada, which brings us to another point in the segment here, and that's to talk about something else that's very exciting. That's something that grew locally across the country in terms of profile, but also as a result of all this hard work, you've been part of a wider team to bring an international event to Cape Breton and Sydney. So do you want to explain a little bit about that? Because
Yes.
we're really looking forward to the upcoming year.
Yes, in January we're going to be hosting the IIHF Women's World's U18 Championship, which is probably the third major women's hockey event in the world. So the Olympics, of course,
Yes.
which is also happening this winter, and the Women's World Championship, which is the pro players, and then this U18, which is the next generation players. And so we're very excited to have these teams come here. Not only I feel like it's very much going to be a two-way conversation when they come. It's not just like, oh, we're hosting you, welcome to our place. It's like, we're hosting you, welcome to our place, look what we did, and take that home with you, because these countries are growing their women's hockey programs and everything, and see what the kind of investment you can make in that sport and what you'll get as returns in terms of numbers and growth.
Unbelievable when you think from going from a process where you're feeling like you've potentially been left out
Yes.
to now leading the way. And
Yes.
that must take a big team. So
It does.
who's
yeah.
involved with this? Because it's not just you've got the university, you've got the league, you've got all the other partners involved, and the other piece of all this is the community support, parents. In terms of getting here, must have taken a lot of lifting.
Yes, hockey, interestingly, and this is why it's I find a good experience for young people, is it's a very complex sport. There is a lot of work involved in creating a hockey game. You have the game that happens on the field, but there's coaches, there's timekeepers, there's officials doing the refereeing, there's the people who run the building, the Zamboni cleans the ice after everything. The moving parts of hockey, I would describe it as having the complexity of government or the complexity of a big business. So for young people to be involved in that and understand all of these layers that happen, to me, that alone, without even thinking about it, they're absorbing such an incredible understanding of complex systems and how they work and how important all the pieces are to make something happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and it's really exciting. And it's more importantly something that we can all be proud of as Canadians, to know that this first is one that will provide and leave a legacy and build the next generation of girls and women within hockey, but within society. So thanks,
Yes,
Christina.
Thank you, Cecil.
Welcome back to Cape Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV. We've gone from talking about the Canada Games Complex become the new home for women's and girls hockey, the first in Canada. We've gone from talking about a $20 million project. Now we are talking to the players themselves. I'm very pleased to welcome our special guests here to talk about their experience in hockey and what women's and girls hockey means not only to them but to the future here at this new home for Blizzard Hockey. Welcome, and if you do introductions, please.
Thank you. My name is Layla Ludeka. I've been playing hockey since I was 5 years old, and I played a little bit with the Blizzards. I also help coach and I ref with the Blizzards, and now I'm with CBU Capers.
I'm Megan. I've been playing hockey since I was 8 years old. I played quite a bit of hockey through the Blizzards program, and I played with the Lynx program and now with the CBU Capers. I do a lot of coaching, so we're here pretty often, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm Morgan. I've been playing hockey for almost 15 years now. I coach with the Blizzards as well. We spend a lot of time coaching anywhere from U7 to U15, 18. And now I play for the Capers as well.
Well, it's really one of these pivotal moments where we're just about to have a new season open up, and to see ice go down and women and girls players on the ice. So as individuals that have grown up within the women's hockey and seeing that growth and culminating with this first in Canada facility, how are you going to feel this fall when you can actually go on the ice, your home ice, a facility you are part of championing and being part of? So from a personal point of view, there must be a certain level of achievement and satisfaction.
Definitely satisfaction. I mean, being able to watch this whole project grow from start to finish has been such an amazing experience, especially being able to play here when I was younger, around Pee Wee age, well, U13, and just seeing the differences along here and along the way, and also just knowing that girls now get a place to play and call their own. It's such a magical moment, especially from a coaching standpoint, knowing that the girls will cherish every single moment and get to develop so many memories in this amazing building.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see the growth of the Blizzard program. Obviously coming up since we were young and playing with the Blizzards, and now we get the chance to give back and coach with the Blizzards, and kind of see what we wanted to see since we were little, and to give the girls these opportunities that we might not have like while we were growing up.
Yeah, coming into the rink for the first time and seeing like the welcome home Capers and Blizzard players was like an emotional experience for all of us, because obviously it's amazing to have a home rink for us to play in, but from a coaching perspective, for all of the little girls to have role models and a space that is just dedicated to them is really amazing.
Okay, you mentioned about coaching. I really love the fact that you've evolved to this coaching level. So what's that transition? So what kind of skill set do you get from being coached and mentored? Now you're the people doing the mentoring and the coaching. So when we say coaching, people see that, okay, get out there and play, but there's more to it than that. So you can explain, what does coaching mean to you, like behind the scenes? So you've taken it on, you're no longer with the skates on the ice, you're the person helping direct and inspire and lead. What does that mean for you as an activity itself?
We do a lot of operational support around the rink, so on the weekends we coordinate games and ice times, making sure everyone has the right resources they need for the weekends to run smoothly, for games and practices to run effectively. It's being a mentor to the girls off the ice, supporting them with their needs, supplying different pieces of equipment as needed, and just making sure everyone is set to do the best they can.
It really does go like beyond just on the ice. Like obviously we're there to help build their skills as hockey players, but off the ice we're building them as people. Like I've learned so much from my hockey experience, and to give that opportunity to another little girl just like I was like when I was that age, it's awesome, and to help them through like their other challenges, whatever it might be off the ice.
Yeah, you definitely get to know like a more personal aspect of the kids, which is such a special moment because they trust you, they look up to you, and they really come to you with any issues, any problems. So it's not just their on-ice challenges, it's really their off-ice challenges. And it's just so good to be able to give back and do something that coaches have done for you in the past, and just know that you're actually making a huge difference in their life.
So it's just not growing in a sport, it's growing in life and who you are as a person, and be able to, give back to the next generation, and the fact that you'll be part of moving forward as part of the CBU Capers Women Hockey. So that's another exciting aspect. This is going to be home to a lot of competitive hockey coming forward. Can you speak to what you're looking forward to in the upcoming season as part of the university team?
Definitely excited for our first game here, 100%. Yeah. I mean, we're all literally chomping at the bit to drop the puck. We've been waiting for a whole few years now, and just knowing that we finally have an opportunity to showcase, especially to the other schools, that like we deserve a place to play and we deserve a place to call our own. It's just going to be so inspiring and so awesome, especially to know that they get the opportunity to kind of play in somewhere that they can call home too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play with the Capers this coming season in our new facility. It's going to be awesome. We have the opportunity to grow as a team and as players in this facility, and to study and then like just walk over to the rink. Like it's a big difference, and it's going to make a huge difference for us, and we're super excited.
We're really excited to have this facility in general, like have access to the fitness center, to various resources, the beautiful walking track, everything like that as well. It's going to be huge to be able to do so much more than on-ice training here, and have even just in general more equitable access to ice and be able to be on the ice more.
So this is something as well that, as you say, this facility was brought here and supported by the community, and in my discussion with Christina, it was about how the community became aware of the need for girls and women's hockey infrastructure and supports that was dedicated, and President Dingwall at Cape Breton University, everybody coming together. So one of the other aspects is the community. As you say, we have all these players come from within the community, various communities within the CBRM, but also for yourselves, what does the community support mean? Like, getting behind the women's and girls hockey here. Have you felt that community support and engagement?
For sure. Women and girls hockey is one of the fastest growing sports in Canada. It's growing at a huge rate. So having a facility for the community to gather to support this growing sport is amazing. There's so many more opportunities to involve the community and recruit new players to come and join as well.
The Blizzard program really reaches all of the different communities within the CBRM, which I think is just incredible, because we get to see kids from all over our side of the island, and to bring everybody together in a space like this is it's absolutely incredible, and to have the community behind us is so important for us.
Yeah, definitely the community aspect is such an important thing, and it also helps that this facility is for the community, not simply just for players and everything like that, with full accessibility and a variety of other things going on, like the fitness center and everything. So it's really like heartwarming, honestly, to see the support and everything going on within the community, and just knowing that such programs like the Blizzards and Capers will always be supported and something special.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming today and being part of the Cape Breton Connects, and we want to connect not only women's hockey and girls hockey to the wider community, but share the successes, but also share the personal growth. And we look forward to the upcoming season. So go Capers, go!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Cape Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV. So we've gone from talking about a building to talk about those that are building within the sport to those that are being recruited to the next level or have been recruited for playing at the university level. So I just want to welcome our guests and for their introductions.
Hi, so I'm Molly Baxendale. I started playing hockey around 5, 6 years old, pretty young. Played boys hockey. There wasn't much exposure to girls hockey at that age. We had our first ever girls team on the north side back, it would have been Adam age at that time. But from then, for playing in Cape Breton, was able to play out in Glace Bay, where that was the first girls team there around bantam age, and then played with the U18 AAA team. And then from there, I was committed to Mount Allison University, where I played in the AOS.
My name is Kennedy Vickers. I started playing hockey at the age of 11. I went right into Blizzard hockey, playing on their Pee Wee A team in my second year of hockey. I carried on through the Blizzard program all the way until my first year of Bantam, where I went to the quad during my second year to play U15 AAA before joining the Lynx at formerly the Panthers in the U18 AAA League. I am now committed to Carleton, where I head in the fall.
So recruitment, this is pretty cool. So we started with wanting to make sure people could get introduced to women's and girls hockey, having access to facilities that, you know, now here for Blizzard's home for the first in Canada, to you reaching a new level at university. So how does someone get recruited?
Well, I think a lot for us too at a Cape Breton, you did have to travel. So we had opportunities, I know, for like spring camps and spring like teams and everything. That was nice. You got to travel with that. I know for me, I had to travel to Halifax to play on teams occasionally and everything, but it would be even with the Lynx organization and the Panthers, we were able to go to trips to Toronto and do different things where you could have these almost ID camps and everything. So you get a lot of exposure to that process, and that came later in life when hockey was becoming bigger with women's hockey and everything like that. But I know that was a huge thing for me.
Mine felt like sending a lot of emails, like putting yourself out there and being like, I'm interested, I'd love to chat, I'd love to take the opportunity to learn more about your school, like if we could schedule something, and also taking advantage of those trips, going to Toronto when it's just a tournament, and the schools from Ontario will be there. And we went to Ottawa this year, which was another great opportunity to see schools from all over the place, from both the States and even here in Canada. So it was really nice to take advantage of them giving us the opportunity for that.
So the other aspect about the university level is not just to excel in sports, it's to excel academically. So trying to find that sport academic balance. How do you find that in terms of, you know, is it a lot of scheduling? Is it about making choices? How do you, at a personal level, because your passion for a sport is matched by your desire for academic excellence?
Right, you have to get really good at time management, and that is something that will be one of the greatest things that has come from hockey, and also doing hockey and school. You know, you have those 6 a.m. early morning practices, and you have classes from 8 to 5, and then workout. So it's like you have to get really good at figuring out what's works best for me, how can I navigate all these different things going on, and just, you know, developing those skills to be able to continue. And, you know, yeah, it's been amazing, actually. It's really nice.
I mean, I haven't started the university portion yet, but I did play links throughout all of high school, and even that was, you know, practices 2 days, you're training the other 2, games on the weekend, traveling all the way to the edge of New Brunswick most weekends, if not all, and you're on the road. So using that as a chance to learn skills like time management and the best way you can study efficiently, the best way not procrastinating, because when it comes up, you know, you're gonna have stuff to do, you have to tackle things when you can.
So as part of all this, and just as a sort of close out this segment, and that is really, if you could offer some advice or encouragement to young girls and or their parents, would you recommend getting involved with girls hockey?
100%.
Easily.
Like, women's hockey has given me so many opportunities that I would never have had regardless. On the ice, off the ice, the people you meet, like I've met some of my absolute best friends for life through hockey, and that's something I will always cherish. But it teaches you personal skills, you know, working with people, working as a team environment. Can never say anything bad.
No.
It's just been an amazing experience.
If I had to say anything, it would be you're not too late to start. I mean, I started way late. For some people, like most start at 5 or 6, but even still was worth every second of it, and there's still so much to learn even when you're older. Like, I've gained so much, like the time management not only, but like determination and patience, and that it takes time to get good at things and that sort of thing. So.
Well, thank you so much and continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, viewers. This is an exciting time for women's and girls hockey. Blizzard having a first in Canada home here on Cape Breton Island. We're so proud of everyone that's made this possible. Thank you for joining me, Cecil Clark, your host of Cape Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV.